Everyone. So every now and again, you have those invasions, the ones that get you really fired up, make you salty as hell, the ones that make you want to win worse than anything. And this is one of those invasions. It starts off pretty simply. I'm obviously here in the catacombs. This is my soul level 36 build, which incidentally probably needs to be reworked in light of some things I've learned. I'll talk about that maybe in a bit. But I've got these two guys here, and I see the Phantom. First of all, he's not an over-leveled Phantom, which is an interesting change. And he's got a dagger, which makes me a little edgy because most quote-unquote normal players wouldn't use a dagger. So I'm really wary of this guy. Not quite wary enough, though. I always forget about the latency problem where even if they're facing you, they can get around behind your back before your screen updates. So lesson learned, and now I got to be a bit more careful. So at this point now, I'm actually worried about this guy, and I'm treating him with kid gloves. And you can tell that the host is following a pattern here of kind of refusing to engage with me, kind of letting his Phantom lead the way, and only once he feels like I'm sufficiently distracted by his Phantom will he move in to attack. And that makes for a very difficult sort of situation, especially with something that doesn't have as much power behind it, because I'm really bad at focusing on multiple players at the same time. I've actually been working a lot on playing unlocked, but with the mace, it has actually a pretty narrow hitbox in front of you, so it's really hard for me to play with it unlocked. But a weapon like this, it doesn't do enough damage like the Murakumo. Like the Murakumo, I'd face off against both these guys at the same time. Both just a mace, it's pretty difficult. And my other option is a straight sword. And invading here in the catacombs is pretty much pushing the limits of this build. He's a soul level 36. Everything's +4. It's raw. These guys are probably at +4, maybe at +5. But the straight sword simply doesn't put out much damage. I mean, you'll see when I use it later. It hits for like 100 a pop. The host seems to be somewhat twinked out based on his armor, based on the amount of HP that he has. His Phantom does not. His Phantom really doesn't seem to have much HP at all. So I'm kind of treading carefully here, and I see that they're upstairs, so I'm going to go find them. There's a blue that's shown up. And I finally decided to bring out the crossbow. This is the great equalizer as far as I'm concerned with explosive bolts. And I can never think of the name of the weapon that blue has at the moment. But this thing is scary at low levels because it can frostbite you in like 2 hits, sometimes even just 1 hit. And even if he misses, the frostbite can still bleed up, or build up rather. And so this is definitely a weapon that you have to respect. And so a guy with a dagger and a guy with that big mace thing, that's a very scary combination. I can see by the way that the blue's running, though, that he's overweight. So I'm kind of filing that away, and I know stamina management is going to be a real problem for him. And sure enough, all it takes is 1 swing. The dagger isn't doing much damage, but damn, it is annoying. It's really hard to roll on reaction. Now the host has had his say, and here I see the Phantom, and I think he's lagging out initially, but then I realize that I've gotten stuck back there too. Now usually I don't just roll back there, it's usually because an enemy forces you back there, but where he is, he's stuck, and I momentarily think about just leaving him here, because leaving him here, he can't really get in any trouble, but the advantage of killing him is I get the Estus back. I'm not sure whether this guy's going to resummon or not. But now that I see him sprinting off, I figure it's a pretty good bet that he is going to resummon. And so at this point, I kind of realize, like, this guy's just going to cheese me in kind of any way that he can until he wins. And, you know, I don't really mind point downs in general, and especially if you've outplayed me, there's not really much that I can say about it. But when it's a chicken shit host that's just going to summon and wait for blues to do all the fighting for him, that is extremely frustrating to me. And I know for a fact that if this guy kills me, he's going to gesture all over my body, probably send me hate mail. So I am really focused at this point. I really want to put this guy away. And he was being pretty careful earlier with his Greatsword R1s, and now he seems like he's not being as careful, so I break out the parry shield. But there he swings just once. But it's a good bet. Players like this, they'll be careful at first, but over time they'll start to get careless. And because this white phantom is password summoned, the host is able to bring him in pretty quickly. I didn't look at the clock to see exactly how much time it transpired, but it's a good bet that he, from death to resummon, when he clicked on the resummon sign, was probably about 30 seconds. At this point, I've kind of learned what this Phantom's game is. He's going to block my first R1 from my sword, and then he's going to immediately start counter swinging. So I think it's about this point where I decided I'm just going to keep swinging. And watch this. Oh, that Phantom range is awful. And this guy ends up having varying amounts of lag. I think at this point is when it started to get worse. Earlier on, it wasn't so bad, but it becomes an increasing issue as time sort of progresses. So at this point, I'm kind of backing off. I'm going to see what they're going to do. Are they going to try to run over the bridge? But at this point, they're kind of hanging back. I don't know if they're going to open the shortcut. You know, kind of what are they going to do? There you can see I'm just giving him some straight sword R1 spam. Now, unfortunately, at this point, I'm really low on Estus. I just obviously used my last. I checked to see if my Divine Blessing was there, which it is. I don't have many on this character. I think I have like 4. I don't know that I've ever used one on this guy. And I think if I had had better spacing there, I think if I had gotten in his face and gone for the guard break weapon art, I probably would have gotten it. You know, generally you can sort of tell when you two-hand the weapon, for people that know, they'll drop their guard, and he did not drop his, which is a pretty good sign that he's not thinking about the guard break, and I probably would have gotten it. So we're kind of at a stalemate here. I'm sort of protecting the bridge. They obviously know the skeletons are going to go chasing after them, and they're worried enough about the skeletons that they're not just going to make a break for it, which quite honestly would have been really easy for them. If they would have just run past me, I wouldn't have been able to do very much about it. But I think at this point, my guess is the host wants to kill me. He's not going to be satisfied by just running to the boss. He wants to kill me, so he's either waiting for this blue to arrive, or he's doing something else, or he's going to wait by the bonfire and make me come chase after him. And it was really about this point where I gave serious consideration to black crystalline out, because I did not want to give the host that satisfaction, but I'd still be giving him satisfaction by leaving. And I don't think I've ever black crystalled out of a fight that even if I thought that I couldn't win, I've always fought till the end. And I'm just not sure that I would really be happy with myself if I did that. So things are definitely looking pretty bleak at this point. And while the host and the Phantom were unwilling to sort of go beyond this line that spawns all the skeletons, I have a feeling with the blue here, they're not going to be afraid. And of course, here comes the blue, and he's got his Llewellyn out, so I'm already worried about getting parried. And there goes the first parry. There goes the second. And I should have been looking for that, and of course he's got a goddamn dagger on him. So this guy's just a parry spammer, which under normal circumstances I would have just backstabbed him. Fortunately, the skeletons came out right at the right moment and really saved my ass. And now things are going even better. I see that the skeletons just killed the phantom as well. So now I want to get after this host, who I know is going to try and run back and resummon his buddy again. And unfortunately, now these skeletons that were helping me are obviously hampering me. But I'm excited too, because I see that they're going to follow all the way back to the bonfire, and this guy's going to have to deal with like 15 skeletons. So as predicted, now he starts getting more frantic and swinging multiple times. I went for the setup parry, and it felt like my timing was pretty good, but I didn't get it. And I think he's getting more laggy, and getting a setup parry like that, I probably would have had to go for it like immediately after the block, like without even a moment's pause in order to be able to get it. But he may even be too laggy for that. I give this guy credit. He must be watching behind him because he's dodging my my crossbow shots. And so this is going to require crackerjack timing here. And he pauses momentarily on the bridge. Oh, and I'm so excited at this point. I'm so happy until I realize he survived the fall. What are the odds? He must have had like 10 HP after that fall. So now I really got to get after this guy because he's got a pretty good head start on me. And I think it was right about here that I noticed that he has a seed active. So he's in full-on panic mode right now. He's doing anything at all he can to try and slow me down. I was checking there behind me to make sure that he wasn't trying to hide. I have the obscuring ring on, so he doesn't realize how close I am, and he tries to branch and hide from me. At this point, though, and I know the timing on that one was good. And you'll see how he's rolling after I hit him. He's really laggy right now. And my fear, though, is that his phantom buddy may have this bonfire unlocked. And if that's the case, he's on his way there right now, so this guy can resummon him. So I'm feeling the urge to hurry up and kill this guy, but at the same time I look at my health like I have to take the time to heal. I would never be able to live with myself if he killed me because I had such low health. Oh man, I was so happy to win that one. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Thanks for checking in.